Christine heard Lauren tell Victor that she wants Michael back. The events that transpired on The Young and the Restless. Daniel, Michael Graziardi, got advice from his father, Danny, on The Young and the Restless. Image, CBS. Amanda went to Kane's train to find out where things stood. Kane said there were so many ways to take that, including where he stood with his kids. Kane apologized, noting that he knew Amanda was talking about his business. He said his original plan was back on. Kane wanted her to call Michael and Phyllis. Phyllis answered Amanda's call and asked her pal if she wanted to get together for drinks. Amanda said Kane wanted to see her. Kane said we're going to need everyone charged to make this plan happen. Kane said they were going to launch an attack on every major company in Genoa City. He finished his drink at Billy's house and threw the empty glass against the wall. Michael told his wife how much he missed Lauren when he met her at society. Lauren sensed Michael wasn't listening to her about Cricket's wedding gowns, so she purposely described them inaccurately to get his attention. Lauren was reassured by Michael that everything was fine. He just missed her. Michael suggested his wife reschedule her meeting with Christine. Amanda's call was left on Michael's voicemail. He did not return it. She then texted him, "Kane needs to see you. Urgent." Michael fibbed that his message was from a politician. Then, Lauren got a text from Chris asking her to meet. A concerned Lauren left. Michael informed Amanda via text that he was on the way. Phyllis entered Kane's train, ready to execute her first steps. Amanda quipped that Phyllis made good time in getting there. Amanda pointed out to Phyllis that she had been working on the AI plan for months. Phyllis snarked that she kept that secret from her friends. Amanda said her job was to keep things from venturing into illegal territory. Kane was told by Phyllis that he didn't need another lawyer. Kane said he had no intention of losing Amanda. Phyllis asked about Matty and Charlie. Kane said that was not to be discussed. She wanted to know if Billy was going to be a part of this. Kane said Billy had too much baggage. Phyllis asked how he took the news. Kane said it didn't matter how Billy took the news. Phyllis claimed not to care. She pointed out that Billy's agenda would have clashed with theirs. Kane said it was his agenda, not theirs. Kane asked if Phyllis would have a problem with Michael being on board. Michael entered and assured Kane that he and Phyllis had worked out their differences. Kane advised Phyllis to let him decide who he should bring into his inner circle. Michael apologized for being late. He added he didn't have a lot of time. "So, is your wife aware that you are here?" I asked. Phyllis asked. Michael assured Phyllis that she did. "I'm a Volt," Phyllis quipped when Kane asked if everyone could keep a secret. He declared that the payoff will be massive. Kane confided in Michael that what they'll be doing might be illegal, but assured him that his hands wouldn't get dirty. Michael turned to Amanda and shared that he was shocked she was going along with all this. Amanda stated that from her point of view, Kane cannot have sufficient support as he enters some grey areas. Amanda said it's their job to make sure that using the AI software doesn't cross any lines and nothing comes back to Kane. Amanda noted that Michael was used to getting his hands dirty. Phyllis asked Michael if he was getting cold feet. Phyllis claimed that she felt attacked by Michael. "Enough," Kane barked. He stated that he would not tolerate any rivalry. Michael said he wasn't sure why he was being questioned. Michael said that he knew how to massage the law since he was in Victor's employ for years. Phyllis said they're not sure what Michael's role was. Amanda said, "All for one, and one for all," in the words of the original Dumas. Amanda left to take a phone call. Michael and Phyllis asked what was next. Then, Billy showed up. He accused Kane of not knowing what the hell he was doing if he was out and Phyllis was in. At Crimson Lights, Cricket and Danny shared their enthusiasm about their upcoming wedding and spending the rest of their lives together. Daniel entered and quipped that the two should get a room. Danny asked his son if he was okay. He changed the subject to their wedding after declaring that his brain was dead. Chris stated that it would now be in November. "I love you," Danny told Cricket. Chris was greeted by Lauren at Crimson Lights, and she informed her that Mochetti had a setup where she could try on her gowns. Lauren wanted Danny to be kept away from the viewing. Danny said his breath would be taken away no matter what his bride wore. Chris and Lauren left to look at the gowns. Alone with Daniel, Danny asked his son how he was doing. Daniel shared that he met with Mariah at her request and that he was asked not to tell Tessa about it. Daniel said that Mariah asked him to look after Tessa while she went away and got help. He wasn't sure what kind of aid. She didn't appear to be on the road to recovery, Daniel noticed. Daniel recapped his talk with Mariah to Daniel. He wasn't sure how to handle Mariah's extended absence. Danny inquired about his son's developing feelings for Tessa. Regarding Mariah's request, he was unsure of his feelings. He said that it was hard watching their relationship fall apart. Daniel told his father that his feelings for Tessa don't matter, but Danny felt otherwise. Danny pointed out to Daniel that he'd been put in an incredibly difficult situation, and he was still reeling from his own loss. Daniel stated that he was unsure of how to proceed. Danny suggested that Daniel tell Tessa that she shouldn't waste any time and that the troubles of today don't have to affect the future. Daniel said that when Tessa isn't around, he would think about her. He quickly added that he would never stand in the way of Mariah and Tessa. Danny asked his son what if they were to divorce. Daniel said they're not going to get divorced. Daniel proclaimed that he'd never do anything to break them up. "I'm your father," Danny interjected. He said he can see his son's feelings for her. Danny stated that he never anticipated Chris and Paul splitting up and giving him a second chance. He pointed out that you just never know where life is going to go. Danny said that you can't suppress your feelings. He cautioned that it will fester and cause him problems. Daniel said his personal feelings need to stay private. He walked away. Meanwhile, Cricket tried different gowns on as she was photographed in them at a studio at Mochetti. Chris asked Lauren if there was a way she could thank her. Chris said she never thought she'd get married again. She added that when things ended with Paul, she wasn't sure she'd ever find romance. Lauren said Danny was Cricket's true north. Chris said that Lauren found her perfect guy in Michael. Chris sensed something was wrong. She urged her pal to open up. Lauren confided in Christine that a text Michael got after a call he sent to voicemail unnerved him. Lauren suspected that Victor was trying to lure Michael back to his business. She recapped that Michael called her about a job offer, but that he turned it down. Lauren said she can't be sure it was Victor on the call, but whoever it was made Michael very uneasy. Chris stated that she was familiar with Michael and that he would weigh the advantages and disadvantages. She wasn't sure why Michael would return to Victor's company. Lauren said Michael missed Victor, but she couldn't see him going back to him. Lauren said that Michael was Victor's most loyal employee. Chris asked if Michael would go back on his promise to Lauren. The department store heiress wondered if Victor's hold on Michael was powerful enough to get him back under his employ. On a lighter note, Lauren asked Chris if she had a preference regarding which wedding gown she'd like to get married in. Lauren had one, but she wouldn't reveal it. Chris suggested that she might be able to wear all three. Lauren was happy that her dear friend was so happy. Chris said this will be a wedding to remember. The latest developments in The Young and the Restless prove once again that Genoa City never runs out of secrets, shifting loyalties, and emotional entanglements. The tension this week moved across multiple storylines, from Kane's ambitious but dangerous scheme, to Billy's downward spiral, to Daniel's fragile heart, to the subtle but powerful fear in Lauren that Victor Newman may once again tighten his grip on Michael Baldwin. What unfolds here is not just the retelling of scenes, but an in-depth exploration of motivations, subtle cues, and how the past of each character continues to shape their present. Kane's train, the mastermind and his circle. The return of Kane Ashby to the forefront of Genoa City's drama has injected a dangerous energy into the canvas. His train, both literal and symbolic, is becoming the headquarters of something far more risky than just business. His plan, to launch an attack on every major company in Genoa City, isn't simply about money. It's about power, redemption, and proving he can outwit the very people who once dismissed him. Amanda was the first to show up, sharp as ever, questioning Kane's intentions with her usual legal precision. Kane's apology for misinterpreting her question was more than just a typo, it also showed his current dual nature. He's still a father concerned about his children, but he's also someone veering into the greyest areas of the business world. Amanda, pragmatic yet wary, became his anchor in that moment. Then came Phyllis, full of fire and cynicism. Her banter with Amanda about secrets and legality was laced with both rivalry and begrudging respect. Phyllis, more than anyone, knows the cost of hiding schemes from friends. She thrives on keeping secrets, but she has also been destroyed by them in the past. Her interest in Kane's plan clearly stems from a thirst to regain relevance and to prove she's still capable of shaping Genoa City's fate. Kane, however, made it clear that this was his show. He reminded Phyllis that her role was not about taking over but supporting his vision. That subtle tension, Kane's assertion of dominance versus Phyllis's natural tendency to control, promises to cause rifts in the near future. When Michael finally entered, his presence shifted the room. His reputation as Victor's fixer preceded him, and everyone knew that his involvement could either legitimize Kane's scheme or bring it crashing down under scrutiny. Kane assured him that while the plan skirted legality, his hands wouldn't get dirty. Michael's unease could be felt. He has been down this path before, promises of safety that fell apart when Victor Newman's influence or unanticipated outcomes took control. The dynamic between Michael and Phyllis immediately flared, their history too rich to ignore. Kane's sharp enough was not just about keeping the peace, it was an assertion that he was in control, and no one else. For Kane, this isn't just a business move. It's his attempt to reclaim agency, identity, and legacy. And then Billy showed up. His rage at being sidelined reflected not just bruised ego but deep personal despair. He accused Kane of incompetence, but beneath his words was the sting of rejection, another reminder that he's spiraling further into self-destruction. His glass shattering earlier at home foreshadowed this explosion. Billy's pain and Kane's ambition are on a collision course, one that threatens not only their fragile connection but everyone in Kane's circle. Crimson lights, love, weddings, and secrets. While Kane's train simmered with ambition and danger, Crimson Lights provided a stark contrast, a place of warmth, family ties, and romantic futures. Cricket and Danny's joy about their upcoming wedding shone like a beacon amid the darker storylines. Their affection was so genuine that Daniel, worn down by his own burdens, couldn't help but tease them. The small moment when Cricket announced the wedding would now take place in November carried weight. For her, every step toward this marriage is a symbol of second chances, of finding light after heartbreak. Danny's tender "I love you" was simple, yet it underscored years of history, separation, and rediscovery. Lauren's entrance shifted the mood slightly. Her news about Mochetti and the gown fitting highlighted not just the excitement of a wedding but also her role as a loyal friend. She wanted Christine to experience joy, but underneath her cheer, Lauren carried a private worry. Daniel's dilemma, heart versus loyalty. Danny's fatherly concern for Daniel was among the most touching scenes of the week. His gentle yet firm probing exposed Daniel's inner conflict, Mariah's request to look after Tessa while she sought help. For Daniel, this wasn't just about supporting a friend, it was about confronting his own unspoken feelings for Tessa. The fact that Mariah explicitly asked him not to tell Tessa speaks volumes about trust, desperation, and her fragile state of mind. Daniel's conflict between his loyalty to Mariah and his growing emotional attachment to Tessa is reflected in his reluctance to tell Tessa the truth. Danny's guidance was practical as well as compassionate. He drew from his own life, the collapse of his relationship with Chris, the unexpected second chance they found to show his son that life is unpredictable. His point was clear: hiding feelings only causes more pain. Yet Daniel resisted, clinging to the belief that suppressing emotions was the only way to stay honorable. This father-son conversation illuminated the generational wisdom passed down in Genoa City. Danny knows firsthand how secrets corrode relationships. Daniel, however, is still learning, still stumbling through the minefield of love, loss, and loyalty. Mochetti, friendship, fear, and confessions. In the glow of the wedding gown fitting, Christine radiated joy. Her disbelief at finding love again after Paul mirrored the hope many fans have longed to see for her. The gowns themselves symbolized renewal, each one carrying the possibility of a new identity as Danny's bride. But Lauren, a friend who is always observant, noticed that something wasn't right in her own heart. Christine's probing, gentle but insistent, opened the door to one of the most important reveals of the week. Lauren confided that Michael had been rattled by a voicemail and subsequent text. Her suspicion that Victor Newman was trying to pull Michael back into his world was not just paranoia, it was intuition sharpened by years of living beside Michael's complicated career. Lauren remembered vividly the years Michael served as Victor's right-hand man, bending laws, manipulating outcomes, and sacrificing personal peace for loyalty. The idea that Victor could still command that kind of influence terrified Lauren. She admitted her worry that Michael's deep-seated loyalty to Victor might come back to the surface. Christine, the ever-rational lawyer, acknowledged that Michael would weigh pros and cons. But Lauren knew the danger wasn't logic, it was emotion. Michael has always carried a unique bond with Victor. It isn't just professional respect, it's a mix of admiration, obligation, and even fear. For Lauren, that bond is a rival she can never fully defeat. If Victor calls, will Michael answer? Christine reminded Lauren that she too had faced situations where loyalty and love collided. She reassured her that Michael wouldn't betray his promises. Yet the hesitation in Lauren's voice betrayed her doubt. Her statement that Michael was Victor's most loyal employee wasn't just history, it was a warning. If loyalty once existed, it can exist again. The conversation ended on a lighter note about gowns, but the undercurrent of dread lingered. For Lauren, the image of her happy friend in white contrasted painfully with the possibility of her own marriage unraveling under the shadow of Victor Newman. Layers of tension, where everything comes together when you zoom out. Every storyline this week connects around one theme: loyalty under pressure. Even though he runs the risk of luring Amanda, Phyllis, and Michael into illegality, Kane demands their loyalty. Billy feels betrayed by Kane's rejection, questioning where he belongs. Daniel wrestles with loyalty to Mariah versus honesty with Tessa. Lauren questions Michael's loyalty to her versus his loyalty to Victor. Christine and Danny celebrate loyalty rediscovered, proving that sometimes it can endure. This juxtaposition of loyalty tested, lost, or reaffirmed created a powerful dramatic tension that resonated across the canvas.